What's up, everyone? This is your man, Mikey G, and today I'm bringing my very first interview just for you. For this video, I interviewed the owner of M&R Dips, located in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and they specialize in custom paint jobs for cars. Now, he doesn't just use any old type of paint. He uses a special kind of paint known as liquid wrap. And if you never heard of liquid wrap before, it's okay. I'll let him tell you all about it.
My name is Trey Brown, and I own M&R Dips. M&R Dips is a liquid wrap company. So for those of you who are not familiar with those terms, essentially I'm able to paint cars with liquid wrap. So I can do any car, any color of your choice, and you can get essentially a paint job for a fraction of the cost, with the added benefit of being able to remove it whenever you want to. That's the main thing. So not only is it cheaper than a paint job, but at any point in time, whether it be 6 months or 6 years, you can remove it and go back to your original color. Being a car enthusiast, it was more or less at this point in time in my life, I was looking for a paint job, to sum it up. And I had never got quotes on paint jobs before. And you know, it could vary depending on the area you live in, cost of living there. But here in this area, I mean, I was getting quotes at $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 for a basic black. I'm like, there's no way it costs this much. No one would ever get their car painted. So that was when kind of light bulb popped in my head. Well, I gotta find some kind of way to get something done to my car. And at that point, I had heard of Plasti Dip, but there was only literally like 2 or 3 colors available. There was only matte black, matte white, and I think they had just released a matte red. That was it, 3 options. Fast forward about a year, I realized that they were releasing more and more colors, and some colors that were cool looking. So essentially I did my car first, and every time I went to a gas station or, you know, somewhere I'm in public grocery store, I would always get, hey, who did that? Or, you know, and then when I tell them I did it, they say, well, how much do you charge? And I got asked that question enough times to the point where it was like, okay, I think I'm supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how it started. Was it something I always wanted to do? I couldn't say always, but ever since that I was the age to be able to drive and have my permit and license, I've been into cars. So I can't say that the business is something I always dreamed of because the product is only 6 years old. So no and yes. I knew I wanted to do something with cars. I just didn't know what it was going to be. Mostly time, to be completely honest. The money, you know, money comes and goes. I mean, for some businesses, you know, if you need $2 million to start up a hotel, that's different. But I guess services, for me, my initial investment obviously was I did my own car. So I had to get the first round of paint, the gun, the equipment and everything, and all the masking materials, things like that was my initial investment. And then, like I said, other than that, it was mostly time. You know, explaining to people, with it being a new product, is mostly explaining to people what it is, and this is what it looks like when done properly. I would say the goals that I had 4 years ago when I started are somewhat different than now. So I've reached a lot of my goals. You know, when you have, I guess you could say like a startup company where you're building it from scratch, there's some things that you want to reach, like, you know, having your own shop, having your own space, reaching a certain, in this day and age, reaching a certain level of, I don't know what the word would be, clout on social media. All those things are, you know, you want to reach your first 1,000 followers, you know, your first, you know, 10 reviews. And once you get those milestones, you know, out the way, you kind of set that number higher. But I've actually, my goal list from 4 years ago is complete. But now I have a new set of goals. I hadn't really thought too far in the future. I would like to expand at some point. I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3 shops doing this in, you know, 2 other states. So that would ultimately be my next 2 major goals: open up a shop in North Carolina, and in Pennsylvania. Yeah, now that's actually a good question, because you kind of take it from back in the day when we used to work at, that retail spot. No free advertisement. But you take the challenges that we used to face back then, and you kind of see what my managers at that time had to deal with. With my guy, it's a little more. It's not as cut and dry as like showing up at this particular time, because, not to dive into the too many details just yet, but I kind of use him when I need him. So he's more of like, almost in a sense, like commission or like contracted, if that makes sense. So dealing with him showing up on time or when I need him, sometimes there are issues with emergency situations where in an emergency situation, I need him in a pinch and he's not available because he's not here all day. He only use him when I need him. So those are the only issues. When it comes to like scheduled work, everything runs pretty smooth. It's only in emergency situations where I don't expect somebody to drop everything, and even though that's what you want, you have to take that into consideration that it wasn't planned. So that's the only thing. But other than that, it hasn't really been too many challenges. Like I said, I'm working with one of my friends, so it's not like he's not like a stranger. So one of the most important things for me, on first contact is that the customer realizes, hey, he's professional, and my car is in good hands. And the best way to do that is to, personally, I always say, when you give me the keys, it's my car. And to me, that lets them know, they see my car, they say, well, if he takes that good care of his car, then my car's in good hands. The main thing I can say that has brought my business the most customers is quality, 100%. I mean, people will come if your craft is near perfection or you're on your way to perfecting it. Basically, if, Joe comes in and gets his car done and he loves it and the work is good and he was treated with respect and had great customer service experiences, he's gonna tell his friend, or his friend's gonna ask him, he's gonna say, hey, I got a guy. So word of mouth, quality and word of mouth are probably the two main things, believe it or not. The most important traits to have as a business owner, I think, are, in my opinion, I would probably say passion for what you do, because without passion, you're not gonna have pride with it, which is another thing. And yeah, I think that's probably one of the top two most important things. Challenges. In my particular field, the challenges that I think I ran into the most were, Plasti Dip was kind of looked at as like a knock me off Jordan, or like a, something fake. It's like a fake paint job. And the main thing was, and you can't really blame people, because the manufacturer, they advertise this, do it yourself. And if you can't, here's a professional. But with that being said, there's a lot of people out there that do try it themselves and they do get bad results. And you have those same people, I don't know if you ever heard the saying where, if you do have a good experience, you might tell 2 or 3 people. But if you have a bad experience, you might tell 11 people. So same thing goes for products. So I think one of my biggest challenges was proving to people that this is a good product. He used it wrong. This is what it looks like when you use it right. Some of the drawbacks to entrepreneurship, I would say, is that it's not always easy. It's almost never easy. People they don't see you at all when you first start. It's almost like sometimes all of a sudden, like, oh, man, he's doing well. And they only see the cream puff and cherries on top. They don't see, okay, 2 years before this, you didn't even notice me because I was grinding so heavily to get where I'm at now. The least favorite part in my profession, I would say, is probably when mistakes are made. Which no one's perfect. I rarely make mistakes, but when I do, because I have such a passion for what I do, probably hurts more than it should. And obviously it could all be fixed because everything I do is removable, but it takes, you take a hit to your pride a little bit sometimes. The look on their face when they see their car completely transformed, that's literally the best part. When they say, like, I mean, I've gotten responses from like still face, like just exactly what I expected, and I like it. Thank you. And then to, oh, like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is my car. Like, nah, I mean, I've seen it all. I mean, I can't say I've seen it all. I haven't had anybody do a backflip yet. I'm waiting for a backflip. Yeah, that's when I feel like I can say, oh, I made it. Yeah. Oh man, so many benefits. Obviously, there's a level of freedom that you get, but there's also a level of freedom that you lose. It doesn't make sense to someone who doesn't own a business, but if you own a business, you know what I mean. But to try to explain it without going into too much detail, obviously you can pick your schedule, do what you want, but in your mind, you're clocked in 24 hours a day. So I would say you kind of have to learn how to close your business in your head sometimes. It's hard to answer. Like, to be completely transparent and honest, I don't feel like, typically you'll probably hear, oh, you know, I got racist customers and this, that, and third, but I haven't honestly experienced any type of prejudice or racism since I started my business. I think people who come to me really have a love for cars, and it's not a matter of skin color and it may just be this area. I mean, it's so diverse already that I don't think that I've had any hardships as a Black business owner, honestly. Yeah, being a Black business owner, if I have went through anything that maybe others don't have to, I haven't seen it in the forefront. The personal impact that being a business owner has had on my life is kind of, we talked about that a while ago. It's freedom. Freedom comes in many forms, and I think financial freedom and being able to create your own schedule, even though that can get hectic as a business owner as well. It's definitely made a major impact for the better. Oh, my fiance, 100%. Yeah. My fiance and my customers, I would say she's definitely been my, you ever heard that song, Lean on Me? Yeah, I was leaning on her a whole lot. So she, I mean, she definitely helped me build my confidence and supported me the most out of everybody, so. 100%. It's not for everybody. The people who think it's, oh, I'm gonna open a business, I'm gonna make $2 million, and it's not for you. I can tell you right now. Like, people who open businesses, they have a passion for what they do, or they have created a solution to a problem that a lot of people have. And that's just that. I mean, I think that as a Black business owner, should I take steps to empower other Black people? 100%. But it doesn't always mean that they have to run the business. Maybe they're just a part of it. They're sacrificing their time for the cause, if that makes sense. If I'm talking to someone who's trying to start a business, I would say that make sure you take care of the financial side of things, meaning your taxes. And I don't mean pay your taxes, obviously. That's an obvious one. I would say that when you're out of the red into the black, which means profit, be sure that you're calculating your financials the way you need to, because I would say one of my mistakes was I was having so much fun doing what I was doing that I didn't think about that until it was tax time. And I was a little behind the curve. So I would say make sure that if you can't afford an accountant, there's tons of apps out there now to help you with that stuff. I would say just make sure your financials are in order. I'll be a rapper, shorty. It's like, nah. Nah. If I had to start another business, I had 2 business ideas. I knew when I started this business, I knew that I wanted to start a business. I was done not having extra income. I would say if you were talking to me 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said I would have started somewhat of a moving company. But if you talk to me now, I would probably more or less say real estate. Maybe not a real estate agent, but I would like to flip houses, like for not just for financial gain, but going back to being a black business owner. Make sure that if I have the choice of selling this house to someone, not that the person has to be black, but if I can help somebody, I would want to help them. Oh, you can Google me, player. You know what I'm saying? Nah, in all seriousness, I'm on every social media except for Twitter. I don't do Twitter, but Instagram is MNR Dips. You can find me on Facebook as well. Just same thing, M&R Dips. You can also find me on my website, which is www.mnrdips.com. You know what I'm saying? It's not directly related to my business, but I am also on YouTube. I don't do strictly business stuff, but I do have some of my work and kind of detailed videos of the process. And you can find me on YouTube at Trey B Dippin'.
So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you want to check out our websites and social medias, links are in the box below. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share this with all your friends and family. If you're a black entrepreneur in the DMV area and would like for me to come through and do an interview with you about your business, send me an email at blackownworld@gmail.com. Tell me about your business and leave a link to your website so I can check it out and do a little homework on you. With all that said, have a good one. Damn, right at the end.